the end of the day.
It's Mel.
And me. You wanna know
How we did it.
You wanna know how we do it. You wanna know
How we
we're
doing
doing
it.
Welcome to the Mel and Me podcast.
At the end of the day.
Sawubona.
Sabona.
Sawubona.
Sawabona.
Not sawubona. Sawubona.
Sawbona.
Sawubona, yeah. And so what's the correct response to that? I say to you sawubona. Sawubona. Unjani.
Unjani. Yeah, I'm trying to just make sure I pronounce it right.
Unjani.
Yeah.
Sawubona. We're back. We're literally back.
Right. Still trying to get adjusted.
Still trying to get adjusted. So we're jet lagged.
Yes.
We've been back just a little bit more. Well, a little bit more than 24 hours. And we're making an adjustment, getting settled back into these United States of America.
Back to reality.
Back to life, back to reality.
Ugh.
That's right.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is real. So, yes, return from gorgeous South Africa, which we spent the last week. And now we're back up in this piece doing a recap.
Right.
This would be, I think, episode 12.
Yeah.
So I decided that, we just do a recap episode from our trip to South Africa. It was just a great time being over there for the last week and not having to deal with all the stuff that we deal with on a daily basis here, that we're bombarded by all the stuff on the news, just people and just the general attitude from day to day and the rat race that we live in, right?
Yeah, it was peaceful.
It was, man, to get away from this and be away from it for a little bit, it's just
Priceless.
It is, man. It's gonna take a little bit
Priceless.
to get back into this thing. But
Yes.
so we made it back safely, so I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, yes.
That's the main thing.
Because it was a long trip.
It's a really long trip, and it's not that something that we were unfamiliar with because we made the trip last year. It's
Yeah.
just that this time around, it was a little bit longer because we had to change things up. Delta was tripping with their ticket prices, right?
It was doing
Direct
way too
flights
much.
doing way too much. Delta, y'all are doing the most.
Trying to
with
hit
these
our
ticket
pockets
prices.
too deep.
Yeah,
Yes.
so y'all need to come on in for a
Yes.
brother and hook us
Yes.
up, get those prices right so we can hop on Delta. But we got an opportunity to fly Kenya Airways.
Yeah.
So shouts out to Kenya Airways.
Yeah.
Got a chance to go through Nairobi and stuff like that.
That was good.
It was a decent time, and a little bit of something that we'll kind of get into a little bit later. But overall, it was a good trip. Good reasonable price. The price was right for this particular trip. It definitely wasn't Delta pricing, which we're thankful for, and we got there still safe and sound. Kenya Airways, the pride of Africa.
Yes.
That's their slogan. You see it all plastered
Yeah.
across the planes and everything. But lovely experience. Lovely experience.
Yeah.
So we're back here, and normally we are a week ahead. So we tape an episode a week ahead so that I can edit it and stuff like that and have it uploaded to release on Tuesday. But this time, because of our trip last week, we were occupied getting stuff done. We didn't have all of our equipment and stuff over there. We did a live stream last week, live from South Africa, which was real cool. That was an experience, even though we had some crazy troll who somehow found his way into our live stream and wanted to post some stuff on our comment thread, like sometimes ignorant folks do. But we were resilient in that whole thing, and it was toward the end of the show, so we kept it moving. Blocked him on out, and everything is good. So we wanted to still, even though the episode is supposed to release tomorrow, and we would have had it already done last week, we decided to come on in here today and and do the episode. And we felt it would be easy to just do a recap of our trip, because that it's easy to do. I mean, when you had such a great time as we did, and it was as eventful as it was, and it was as meaningful as it was, then I would like to think that it would be pretty easy to talk about and share with the people on this side as well as our people on that side as well. So let's get into it. So this was our first time traveling. It was very important, like, we made the big deal about just being back safely on the ground, because this was our first time traveling without the kids. And even though we don't have kids anymore,
Right.
they still are kids.
Yeah.
I mean, our youngest is in college, freshman in college. And, the bottom line is that with both of us traveling together, if anything was to go wrong,
Yeah.
then, he's left behind,
Yeah.
as a, still a teenager essentially,
Yeah.
so, we had to think about those things. And that was something that really weighed heavily upon me, but at the same time, we have to do what we have to do, because we, made this decision to do this. And so it's one of those things in life that you just kind of have to face and deal with, right?
Yeah.
And so you make sure that you're prepared. You make sure you have things straight for your people, should the unthinkable situation arise. And, you just let them know you love them, and you handle your business, right? But fortunately, here we are. We're back here. And so we're very, very thankful for that. So that was a big deal.
Yeah.
And so we just wanted to get back out here and make sure we keep our episodes rolling and everything, so we'll get this done, and and we're gonna move on to the next. So I'm rocking my rugby jersey right here, my official rugby jersey. Y'all might check that out, representing them Springboks, the South African rugby team. And I'll just be upfront. I'm not presently a rugby fan, because obviously that's a sport that here in the United States is just not a sport. We are basketball, football, and baseball people here in the United States.
Right.
But given the fact that we now have a physical residence established in South Africa, then we need to start to adjust and take on some of those and embrace some of those cultural norms that they have over there. Right, because one thing that I saw when we were dining out, having dinner and stuff like that.
Everybody had them on.
I'm beyond the jerseys and
Yeah.
stuff. When we went to the malls and just see them walking down the street or whatever, But when we were in the restaurant, people had on the jerseys, but the games
Oh, on
were
every TV. Oh yeah.
Right,
Everybody
so
played
so that's what's streaming, right? So
Yeah.
we need to come to understand and develop an appreciation for those sports. Specifically over there, of course, is soccer. The World Cup in 2010 was in South Africa. You have rugby and cricket as well. Cricket is similar to baseball, and I think cricket they play in the Caribbean a lot too. So black people is not a sport that's unfamiliar to black people, because they play the same sport down in areas of the Caribbean as well. So we're gonna start making those adjustments and taking those things. But plus, I saw this. I kept seeing them selling these on the side of the road every time we went to the store or whenever we were out and about. And I was like, man, that's a cool. That was like some type of an athletic jersey. I like that, and I wanted it. And so I went out there and I said, I'm gonna get some of these before we leave. So I bought a few of them. They have a couple different versions of it. I have a colored version that my son is gonna take. And then I have another multicolored white version as well. But so the Springbok, the name of the team is the Springbok because the Springbok is the national animal for South Africa. In fact, if you ever have seen a South African Krugerrand, which is the coin, it was the first gold bullion coin that was ever produced. On the obverse, I guess it would be the obverse, the reverse side or whatever. One of the two sides of the coin is one was the first South African president, Kruger, and on the opposite side is the Springbok. So you see this beautiful image of a Springbok impressed onto the South African Krugerrand, whether it be the gold or the silver bullion coin. So just a little neat little tidbit of information there. So the national team is named the same, and they just the other night they defeated England to advance to the final round of the 2023 World Cup that's taking place in Paris, France right now. And so they'll advance to the finals.
Which is a big deal.
It was a big, huge deal anytime you're talking World Cup, right? So they'll advance to the finals, I think it's next weekend. And if they win, it'll be, from what I understand, I think 9 of the last 10 or something like that World Cups, I think was won by teams that were below the equator. I think it was. Yeah, but South Africa, they hold like, I think 4. I think it was 4 of the last 9 World Cup titles or something like that in rugby. I believe it was. So for all my South African brothers and sisters out there, if I got that wrong, just forgive me. I'm still picking these things up, but I'm trying though, right? I got to get some credit for trying. I'm trying to learn these things. But yeah, man, repping this jersey hard, man. This is real nice. So I look forward to rocking my other one. So yeah. So anyway, so we what are you looking at?
The jersey.
Oh, you didn't look at it previously?
Yeah, I did, but yeah, I'm still.
I got the F&B on the
Yeah, yeah.
First National Bank, which we got my account open there now. So
Yeah.
but anyway, so we went over to take occupancy of our property. So we got us a flat over there, in an estate community that we purchased. And so, we obviously plan on spending, more time over there.
Yes.
And who knows what beyond that. But, we take things one step at a time over here. And but the main thing is for us to get and establish that residence so that we can plant some seeds and we can have some options, to figure out how we want to how we want to go forward and the things with some of the ideas that we're kicking around and stuff like that, and then just the broader picture of what's going on globally as well, right?
Yeah.
So
And also have a place to stay when we do go. We don't have to stay in the Airbnb. We can have our own place to stay in.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah, which is
one of the main things, right? So back to my tea. We got our tea last week. I had the wine in the room. So we don't have that. We left the wine in our spot there, so it'll be waiting for us when we get back. It'll be waiting for me when I get back because she doesn't drink. But yeah, so we got our tea thing happening here. So we went over, and it was real busy for us, right?
extremely busy.
Extremely busy. And even though we did all this leg work and stuff before we went over there, it's just that when we got there, we had to go through the process of getting the keys to the property and stuff, and they had to install all the appliances and stuff the day we got there.
Yeah.
Right? The appliances weren't installed because they like the way, and it's the same thing here in the United States. I mean, when you're building a new house, you're not going to necessarily put certain things in place until you got the owners occupying it, because you got to worry about somebody breaking in and stealing stuff.
Right.
They even over here some years ago, you'll have things like you can't install an air conditioning unit because somebody's liable to come and steal it. They would steal the copper pipes and all that stuff from it, right?
Yeah.
And so they waited until we showed up that day to to take our keys and stuff, and all the paperwork and everything was done. We had to travel over with the main paperwork that goes to the government, like transfer documents and stuff like that for the property. But we went over there, they installed the appliances, and then we moved in like that afternoon, I think it was, right? Maybe about 12, something like that, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And then from that point, everything was in hyperdrive.
Yeah.
Because we had to go do things like, get biometric scanning and stuff like that, because it takes that. You need all that to get into the community.
Get furniture.
Real high tech, so we had to go get fingerprinted, palm scanned, and all that kind of stuff. And then, because the place was empty. So we didn't want to be there. We booked a hotel to stay nearby. for a couple days, and then we extended the third day just to give us that extra day of cushion, because we knew that the first day we got the place, so we moved in, we weren't going to have furniture. And so we weren't even sure whether or not we were going to have furniture by the time we leave, because we have never bought furniture over there. And though we know they're fairly advanced, things still don't quite move as fast as they do in the United States. Not typically. But fortunately, I'm just thankful.
Ooh, yes.
That we were able to, we had a plan. We had a plan, definitely.
Yeah.
We had a plan. We'll say we had a plan.
Yeah.
And so got out there and just lined up stuff, and made some calls and stuff, and made sure that we would have a situation where we could possibly have some type of furniture delivered in the place so that we could sit on and or sleep on. I'd have been on the floor if
yeah. It's
well,
not like I haven't
floor.
been on the floor before.
But those floors are hard there because they have the big ceramic tile floors, right?
Yeah.
So it would have been uncomfortable, but we still could have done it. Just make a pallet, as they say. Get us some comforters and some extra pillows and stuff. But we didn't have to worry about that. Mm-mm. Because big shouts out to the first day we got the bedding store.
Yes.
I forget the actual. What was it called? The bed store where we bought the bed from.
Oh, wait
I forget the name. I think
Bed
it might have been
Depot?
called. No, I think it was called the bed store.
Yeah. I think maybe.
But anyway,
Bed store.
but we were able to go in there, and my thing was just to go someplace and to say, hey, here's our situation.
How soon can you get us?
How soon can you get us something delivered? If we got to pay somebody some extra money to get us a delivery tomorrow or whatever, we'll do that. But she told us it was like, we can get it to you in a couple days, and normally it's about 3 to 5 business days after we're not going to be there, and so she just basically told us, well, if you buy now, and maybe that was a sales tactic on her part. If you buy now, I can get you on the schedule by today, and we can possibly get you delivered tomorrow.
No, because even when we went to the other store, it was in the mall. It was the same thing. She said they have a cutoff, for the delivery, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, or whatever.
Right.
So you got to get it in by a specific time in their scheduling. So that there we was fine with. But again, the customer service was just excellent.
Oh yeah, they went above and beyond.
Absolutely excellent. I can't say enough. I have never experienced that. Now, I'm not saying that I've never received good customer service before. Let me be clear. But with this young lady, because again, with us not knowing the area, really knowing what to do, and I know you will get into that with with the whole phone thing. It was just a lot.
I talked about that last week though too, actually.
Oh,
on our live stream.
I can
touch on it again,
with getting the phone.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But the fact that she went with us.
Yeah, got in the car with us and went over to the mall across the street.
Yes, that we got everything taken care of. So things like that.
Because we needed a cell phone.
Yeah.
Just to rehash, we needed a local South African cell phone number in order for them to reach us in order to schedule the delivery. And we just had our regular phone, our international phones here, AT&T from the United States. And they can't call our phone unless you have someone that has a WhatsApp number. And for those people who are interested in doing this type of thing, become familiar with WhatsApp. Okay, find out which businesses or which people you can talk to, and they have WhatsApp numbers, because that's going to be the key to your communicating, or a similar app for international calling. And there's still challenges to some degree with that, with getting stuff done. But at least with WhatsApp, if you have a WhatsApp number, you know that you can talk to people and people can reach you from other countries. Yeah. So that's extremely important.
Yeah, that was a big thing with us with the whole phone situation.
But we ended up getting us a prepaid South African phone. So I got a South African phone sitting off in the distance. And so that we can get our bed delivered. And then the next day we went someplace, a furniture warehouse, and they had some stuff on the floor that we were able to purchase. They had a nice leather sofa on the floor that fit our style and everything. And so we scooped that up, and they delivered that like the same day. Within a few hours. So I was like, and I was hopeful that would be the case. I'm like, because I'm thinking like even back here, if we could just find a warehouse somewhere, a furniture warehouse where they got stuff on the floor that you can buy, I think we'll have a good chance of, even if we have to go rent a moving truck ourselves or go find some guys, get a truck and say, hey, come help us go get this sofa from this place. and take it to our crib. So I was really happy when we found a furniture place that could do that.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, so we got the furniture in there. Got us a couple furniture pieces. You know, so the crib is habitable and everything. You know, we went out and did what else did we go do?
Just got
the
other little
furniture.
small accessories for the house.
Like what? What was it? Let's see how good
Dishes.
your memory is. Dishes, right?
What do you mean how good my memory is?
I mean, it's taking you long enough to tell me.
I'm just saying
ask you.
accessories for the house. I mean, dishes, silverware.
We doing the podcast, man.
You know,
Talk to the
household
people.
items. We went and
Stop
got.
having me talk to the people all the time.
Well, you like to talk anyways.
No, well, if you talk some, that means I can talk less. See what I'm saying?
Well, we're doing just fine. What you doing? That's fine.
Anyway.
But we went and got household items. You know, dishes, silverware, comforter set. You know,
Right.
that type of stuff for the bed. You know, we still got a lot of other things that we got to get, but just want to get the essential stuff that we needed for the few days that we were going to be there. So that's pretty much just ripping and running around the different stores.
Right.
Takes up a lot of time just doing that. So that was eventful.
That was the majority of our trip, really. Was doing that type of stuff and grocery shopping and that type of thing, and you know, it was just a lot. It was a lot to do. It took
Yeah.
up all of our time. We did not get the opportunity to like go out or anything like that. You know, we did dinner and stuff. You know, which is cool because we have a restaurant on site. You know, in the community that we bought into. But we didn't get a chance to go out on the town, like to hang out and stuff like that, which we look forward to doing that in the future. But this was really just all about just handling that business, you know, taking care of business and stuff and getting settled in so that we can kind of now take and move forward, you know. And but it was real cool.
Yeah.
So, you know, so we spent a lot of time back and forth at the mall because malls are huge in South Africa. You know, in Africa in general, from what I gather, you know, I can definitely speak to South Africa because that's where we've been. But you can get basically anything and everything at the mall. You know, and everything from, you know, pharmacies there to banking and stuff to, you know, obviously clothing, shopping and restaurants, furniture stores. You can buy a car from a mall if you want to. You can go to the Sandton City Mall and buy yourself a Mercedes.
One-stop shop.
They got the Mercedes dealership right there in the mall. So, but yeah, so we spent a lot of time going back and forth to the mall, just, you know, getting different stuff, you know, and then of course we went grocery shopping because once we got into our place and we were no longer at the hotel, we had to cook for ourselves. You know, so we still have some adjustments to make there, you know, with adjusting to, you know, the food and stuff and our particular diet, you know, as far as spices and all that kind of stuff and, you know, different brands.
I'm going to try to get used to that because then you go just with, I'm used to using this particular brand here. Let me see if that's there. Then, you know, you don't see it. And it's like, okay, well, which one is good? Which one should I try? So it's a learning curve there. So when we go back, you know, then I'm definitely going to pick up more spices and you know, just different things that we can have, but just for the few days, just trying to get acclimated. Again, just wanting to make sure we just had what we needed for those few days. So like Clay said, a lot of back and forth, you know, with getting pieces between the TV stand, putting that in the in the truck. And again, I just can't overstate enough just how friendly everyone was to the people who delivered the furniture. Waited there for us because we were getting I think we was getting the biometrics or something done. And they was like, okay, we'll be 30 minutes, you know, to an hour away. And again, that whole cell phone that we got just wasn't really reliable. And so we was having some difficulties there. But they waited there, wasn't angry when we, you know, showed up, anything, came and put the furniture up for us. And so we were so thankful for that. I think both people, the guy with the who delivered the mattress, they waited, and then even with the sofa and stuff. So all of that just took a lot of time just to do that, but it was definitely an experience. Just even going around to the different stores, the furniture stores and stuff, and just that whole process and how it worked. It was interesting. It really was.
Yeah, I was more than happy to take care of the dudes, and I'm talking, just breaking them off a little something, for that. And, even though we paid for the delivery at the store, we paid for the deliveries at the store.
Extra for them waiting without complaining. And they wasn't mad or anything. You get some people, you 10, 15 minutes, late, they looking at you sideways when you show up. But they was like, oh, no, we here. Yeah, let's go ahead and get this done. And it was just very, it was a good thing.
Take care of the people. Mm-hmm. Take care of the people. It was cool. And they appreciated it. That was a cool thing, you know what I'm saying? Because they really appreciate it and stuff like that. And I think that goes a long way with helping to I guess, I don't want to say drive perceptions, or maybe establish, like they say, that your first impression, is the lasting one, right? So, in many ways, we're the first Americans or Black Americans that some of our people over there are encountering. Yeah. See what I'm saying? And, what we present to them, is for good or bad, is going to probably be the impression that they're left with. Yeah. And so that's something that I'll always keep in mind, and I constantly tell myself that I will keep in mind whenever I'm over there. I think that's something that we should all bear in mind as we go out and do these things and explore different areas of the world, but especially on the African continent, with our brothers and sisters there. Because we want to be on the best footing we can possibly be with our people there, because I think we each deserve that of each other, that mutual respect. And
the encounters that we had was absolutely great. Even in the furniture store, not the furniture store, but the bedding store that we went into, how helpful the young lady was in there, would just went to each section with us and helped us so that we can pick out the comforter, the curtains, and all of that. Went and got the shopping cart and stuff for us. So
that wasn't the bed store, though. I think you said the bed store. Oh, the bedding store.
The bedding store.
I was thinking about the bedding. No, it was
called Voiles. Was it Voiles?
That's Voiles. Right. The bedding store was where we bought the bed from. Right. That's why I said you start talking the bedding store again. I'm like, okay, you.
But the Voiles. But yes.
Where they sold bedding.
Yes, where they sold bedding, because we went there specifically.
Yeah, they were awesome too.
Were. I mean, it was really nice to do that, and so I really enjoyed that. But to me, it was consistent with that. Each encounter that we had with someone there, it was just a very good experience, from the restaurants to the stores to the gas station, just the grocery store, everywhere.
And with that, I'm glad you bring up the grocery store. We're gonna need to shout out our friend,
Miss Esther.
All right, Esther.
Miss Esther.
How you doing,
we want to
Esther?
give a shout out
give a shout out to Esther, our friend that we met at Pick and Pay.
Pick and Pay. Met her there.
Down in JHB South, where we live.
Yeah.
It's funny how we got to meet her. It was really because of me. It was a situation where we had done some shopping, and of course I'm used to the way we do things here in the United States. So I went and got some vegetables that I had, and I just put them in the cart, and I put them in the bag, the little plastic bags that they come in, and I put it in the cart. And so when we got to the spot where they were ringing up the vegetables, she asked me if I had a tag for the vegetable, the onion and the garlic thing that I have.
And we standing there looking crazy.
And I'm like what are you talking about? What tag? I'm like, just put it on the scale and weigh it, and it'll tell you how much it costs. But it wasn't the way it worked there. So their scales at their cash registers are not they're not scales, they're just scanners, right? So what's required is for you to, when you're in the fruits and vegetable section or whatever, that something that needs to be weighed, you weigh it on the scale there, and then it creates a sticker, a ticket for you, like a barcode, that you will then stick onto that plastic bag, and that is what you take to the register, and they just scan it and it rings up. But of course,
we had no idea.
No
idea, because we was looking real crazy in the line.
So she was there getting ready to get stuff rung up, and now I'm in a last minute frenzy trying to run back through the store. And of course I didn't know how to work the scale, so that took me a few minutes too. So the guy that was behind me, let him went ahead and go ahead. And so I missed all of this part. But this is where, when I came back, she was engaged in conversation because she likes to run her mouth anyway. And so just kind of pick up from there, because I showed back up to pay for the stuff, but then you were engaged.
Yeah, the young lady at the register, she was asking me, come to find out, she was asking me if I had a pick and pay card. But I didn't understand at first what she was saying, so I had asked her to repeat it like 3 times. I felt bad asking her to repeat it like 3 times, and so Esther was there.
She was one of the baggers.
She was one of the baggers, putting the groceries in the bag, and so she just was showing me, hey, she wanted to know if you have one of these cards, and I was like, oh, no, I figured it out then, and so obviously as I'm talking more, then. Esther asked me if I was she asked me if I was from the United States, from America, and I said yes. And so then they was like, oh, okay. They was able to quickly tell, and so we started, conversation there. And then she was just really excited because she was like, oh, and then she said that she wanted to develop a friendship, since I was from the States, and she just heard a lot of wonderful things about the States, and so we end up exchanging phone numbers. She asked me if I had WhatsApp, which I forgot I had it because I don't use it. And so at that time, that's when you came up, right. And then so I was telling you about it, and so we exchanged numbers, and so we have been communicating. We've been WhatsApping with Esther.
She sent me a message just a couple hours
but
ago.
Again, just wonderful personality, right. Was smiling. Even the young lady at the register, all of them, there, but everyone in the store, and it was probably about 5 or 6 of them, but again, the customer service and everything was great, but she just had such a wonderful personality, so we've been talking to her, and it was very good.
So I look forward to getting to know Esther better and stuff. And maybe next time we're in we're back home there, maybe we can connect up and maybe take her out to dinner or something like that. Or, we'll connect up, Esther, so we'll just keep communicating and stuff and just learning a little bit more about each other. Mm-hmm. Which it was funny because I in the course of communicating back with her when we were traveling, I made the statement of like, yeah, you're the first South African that befriended us, and she was like, I'm actually from Malawi. I was like, oh. So Esther is actually from Malawi, but she lives in South Africa, and so we were talking about that today, that whole thing. So I was having some conversation with her about that. Yeah. But it's just been really good, just talking back and forth with her here and there, and we'll try to, like I said, we'll try to continue to get to know her better and stuff like that, as well as other people in South Africa. You just take it one by one, person by person, right? Yes. Yeah. And who knows? So again, shouts out Esther. Yes. We really enjoy talking to you, and we enjoy talking to you and stuff. So we wish the best for you. So that was pretty much our trip there, and then we had to come back here. So we work calls. Yes. I guess that we wouldn't be able to afford to do that there without work here, right? So I mean, at least for us in our situation, that's the way things work. Now, if we hit the Powerball like the guy out in California last week, then we talking a different story. But
I will say though, I do want to go back to say, as far as just with our trip there, even though this is only our second time going there, I have not driven since I've been there. Now, mind you, I've driven a manual for over 20 years, been back on the automatic, but I have driven one for over 20 years. The roads there, and then just everything's on the left, is so scary.
On the right side.
And I'm like, every time I'm like, you're supposed to be on this side. So I have not taken the opportunity to drive there yet. Eventually I may get there and get up the courage to do it, but I have not done it yet because I think I'm afraid to do it. Okay. It just, with the turns and all that, I'm just like, I'm liable to be in an accident. The circles, here.
Yeah. Yes. Because when we went to we went to the mall over there, and Barton.
It takes a lot to
Glen Mall,
yeah.
Glen Shopping Center. Those circles over there
Woo,
dangerous.
Very. And
So,
if you're not accustomed to doing that daily, I just
Right.
want to mention that because that is one thing that I'm not used
traffic
to.
circles, yeah.
Yes, and then just again with driving on the left when I'm turning, got to make sure I'm on the left because
Yeah.
my mind is just saying.
You have to talk to yourself, and that's
Right,
and when
you
you
know?
talk to me, I'm saying it out loud.
Right.
I pull up behind, okay, follow that.
Let me
guy.
follow this car right here.
I'm watching the vehicle's trajectory in front of me to
Yes.
make sure I hit that other side of that
Yeah.
median, so that I'm not in oncoming
Yes.
traffic.
I just had
But
to
I
mention
got
that
it though, so
'cause,
I got you.
yeah,
So
he's
long as
been
I'm still
driving.
breathing, you'll be
Yes,
all right.
Yes, because
Whether it be a manual or automatic. So
Yeah.
I got it down.
yeah.
So yeah, but that was pretty much it. And so then, okay, so coming back here was a little bit of a longer trip. It seemed,
Yeah.
especially since with the issues you were dealing with. We'll just call it. Let's see, you weren't feeling well. Your tummy wasn't feeling well.
I don't know. I don't know if it was just
And
about
on a 14-hour flight.
when I tell you, I don't know if it was all the cheeses I was eating because the food is so good. Oh my goodness, we were eating.
It could have been the airplane
So
food though
good.
too, because it seemed like you had problems the first couple days we were there, and then on the flight back.
Yeah, but on the flight back, it just got worse. Now, mind you, going in, I don't think I had any problems going in.
No.
But going
That
back,
wasn't-
I'm like, within 30 minutes of me eating, I started feeling my stomach, and I'm like, started feeling sick. And I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna have to.
But it's just bubble guts.
It was the bubble guts. And it was so embarrassing because I'm like, okay, first of all, because we had 3 layovers, and I'm like, this 4.5-hour flight, I'm literally running to the bathroom.
And then, yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
So in Nairobi, Kenya, the bathrooms were small, right?
It was only 3
3
stalls in there. I was so embarrassed, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I couldn't even help myself. And I'm like, I don't even want to come out of here. But there was no way that I was going to the bathroom on the plane. Absolutely not. Because it was a whole situation. And so that happened to me 3 times. I said, I cannot do the plain food. So I was just drinking the tea and I'm praying on the
And
flight,
the
like,
sparkling water.
and the
to settle
sparkling
your
water
stomach.
to settle my
so
stomach
on
down.
the 14-hour flight, you didn't eat anything.
I didn't. The only thing I had was tea. But before that, I was twice. And no sooner than we got through security, I'm already looking for the bathroom. Where's the bathroom? I need one that's close by. So, I don't know. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's dealing with that. But that's something to keep in mind too. With the plain food.
But they had the food was pretty good.
And that's the thing. It was good. It was good.
Who knows? I mean, but you keep a pretty specialized diet on this
Yes,
side.
I eat the same thing every day.
and it's mostly plant based, right?
Yes,
So,
yep.
And
Plant-based.
you change the diet, and so those are one of those things that we just have to get worked out, over there and make those adjustments and stuff,
Yes.
and figure out what works for you on that side,
Yes.
because they do have a heavy meat and what they call
Dairy too.
meat and potatoes diet. What do they call the potatoes over there? What do they refer to them as? Chips. They refer to them as chips, even though they're French fry wedges.
Yeah,
they call them chips.
And they were good.
But
too.
it's potato wedges or chips. French fries, they're chips.
Yeah.
So I have a heavy diet of that over there.
Yeah, but that food is good. So, it's really good. The seasoned up and everything. But each time I go, I'm like, okay, I just won't eat anything on the plane. So I can save for, when we get to the restaurants and stuff there and enjoy that. But yes, so I am getting slightly better with that. I was still dealing with a few issues yesterday, but now that I'm back, I can get back to my regular meal that I have each day to try to get myself cleaned out. And yes.
Yeah. So, we just looking forward to going back.
Yes.
Can't be and we're that's gonna be our thing, on this side. So we'll be scaling back a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And not that we do a whole lot anyway.
We don't.
But we just want to continue to stay with our plan and stuff, but
Yeah.
it gives me more motivation to just chill on this side.
Yes,
You know,
I'm very
because I know I'm
excited.
going to be looking forward to going back to there, and you know, it can become quite pricey, you know, between
Oh
the
yeah.
just the airline tickets alone, just
Yes.
round trip tickets for the two of us, and then
Yeah.
possibly up to four. Well, three of us will have to cover, because the fourth one she can cover her own.
Right.
Fourth one she could cover all of us
Yeah.
if she wanted to.
Yeah,
Nah,
that's
nah, nah.
true. Yeah.
But so yeah, so that's what we'll do, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll just stay head down here and continue, you know, doing what we do,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, just developing that appreciation, you know, for the other side while we handle stuff here, and appreciate stuff here too. But
Yeah.
again, just, you know, knowing you have those options and stuff like that is always cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we obviously, when we go back, we still got some more business to take care of, as far
Yeah.
as, you know, getting a couple other pieces of furniture. You know,
Yes.
we're still having to, you know, get the final stuff settled for the, you know, the property taxes and all that kind of stuff. We got to have our agent, you know, work on that. So we still have that out there. That's the
Yeah.
main piece of administrative business.
Yeah.
Is to get the transfer piece of the property done, get it recorded, the deed recorded, right?
Yeah.
By the, I guess it would be the province, Gauteng province over there. I think it gets recorded into the province area, because it does the county here, and the
Yeah.
province is the equivalent kind of counties,
the county.
in a
Yeah.
sense,
Yeah.
over there.
And I think, you know,
So still gotta get that done.
for me at least, speaking for myself, just understanding and learning the differences with how, when you buying property over in Africa versus here. And I guess in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, everything is going to flow the same way. And it does not.
In some areas it does.
In some areas it does. In some areas it
Right.
does not. So I think if you know going in, you know what to expect. And so that was definitely, you know, just, you know, learning lesson, you know, for me to say, oh, okay, I realize now that this is what the process is. Everything doesn't happen like immediately right at the closing table. There's some things that take place afterwards. So that's very, you know, that was very important to learn those things. I learned it right then and there, but was thinking something else when I went there. So
Yeah, and that's something that we're going to address in the little documentary that I'm going to put together, which
Yeah.
I got to figure out how to string all that together. I got all this footage and stuff, and the different, you know, things that we did along the way, you know, to kind of put something together so that people have an idea about what this
Yeah.
whole experience was like, you know,
Yeah.
purchasing property with the majority of it being done remotely.
yeah.
Right. So, but it can be done, people.
It
Trust
definitely
me,
can be
it
done because
can be
we've done it.
We
Yep.
did it.
Yep.
Yeah, and so we're going to do that, and we're going to work on that. So that's one of the things that lies ahead for us. You know, another thing that we're going to do is that I see us doing, you know, because we and one thing that we really appreciate. Oh, by the way, like, share, subscribe our channel, because we're continually trying to grow what it is we're doing here. Of course, we're discussing South Africa right now, but of course we have a lot of our regular content that we'll continue to do about various topics and our perspective, you know, on it and stuff like that. But we're glad to, now that we're doing the South Africa thing, we're going to try to, you know, place, you know, content there as
Yeah.
it comes up naturally, because we get responses from people that subscribe to the channel, and they say certain things on the channel that will spark certain thoughts in my mind and inspire me to maybe do an episode on that. And I think that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do next week. You cool? Okay. So,
Sorry.
you know, so yeah, so I think we're going to do that next week.
Yeah, to be able
probably.
to cover it from, you know, different perspectives from Africa and the United States. We can still get to kind of do it all because we have people that's from both areas. So I think we can just cover it. You know, we can do a lot of different topics to encompass
we'll
both.
definitely do that. So I'm looking forward to that. So I think the episode that we'll do next week is I think we were going to do a different one, but today I came across a comment someone submitted to our channel. And again, I wanted to say, you know, thankful to all the new subscribers that we have,
Yes,
because we
thank
had an
you.
influx of subscribers from South Africa. And I think it probably has, are you going to live? I think it probably came out of our interaction with Esther.
With Esther.
You know, because she told some of her friends, and they probably saw it, and they probably told some of their friends. And so, man, Esther, we appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
You know, and we encourage, you know, anyone out there who comes across this to share with somebody, you know, because we're gonna cover things South Africa, we're gonna cover things United States, and we hope to bring some clarity and you know to kind of join the two, so people on that side can maybe learn about how our mindset and our approach to things helps us over here. You know, being that we are a so-called first world nation here in the United States, right? You know, and obviously there are different complexities that we have here that they may not necessarily have there, but at the same time, they have some complexities here over there that we don't have here. We may think that that's not the case, but it's very much the case.
But you learn about that through conversations.
Yeah, and we'll talk about, you know, a couple of experiences and stuff like that that we have. And I think I'm going to focus that next episode on that next week.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. And then just, you know, just looking forward to our future interactions with the people there. Like you said, just it all comes out with me. I'm always thinking the people.
Yeah.
The people.
Yeah.
It's time for us to link up with the people. Not just us.
Right.
But our people linking up with the people there, you know, and have more meaningful dialogue and exchanges and stuff like that. So that's my main thing. So with that, I think we can probably wrap this episode. It's a nice little recap. Quick recap. It wasn't quite, might not have quite been an hour, which, you know, some people probably prefer that anyway. They're like, oh, thank God they didn't do an hour. You know, but it's all good. We just gonna let it flow.
Right.
That's how we want this thing to just be, like I say, I like to say organic.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we want. So again, good people, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Share it with somebody if you feel so inclined. We don't want to twist your arm or nothing like that.
Nope.
Because things are gonna happen the way that they're supposed to happen anyway. That's kind of the way we see it.
Yes.
And no matter what happens, this is something that we just kind of enjoy doing. You know, just sitting around talking and stuff because we do it anyway.
Yes.
But sharing something with the people out there, and maybe it will inspire them.
Yeah.
But yeah, feel free to reach out to us, send us an email or whatever. We'll get back to you. We're not so big where we can't do that at this point. So you know, it takes up a lot of my time to do so.
Yeah.
A lot of my time to do so.
Yeah. He does all Andy.
But we do it.
Yeah.
And we enjoy it. So with that, we're gonna call this one. And at the end of the day, if you're not gonna cough your way through it,
I'm sorry. Ooh.
As we like to say, at the end of the day, it's
Bell. No, fuck.
And me.
This is horrible.
And this has been the podcast. Y'all take it easy. Take it easy. We're gonna get her.
Holla.
We're gonna get her together.